TechTales 83. Today is July 19th, 2021 on a Monday morning, 7:21 a.m. Later today, 2 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, I have a live stream scheduled with a person who has been on my videos back at the early days of my channel. To find out your local time on that and more information about it, if you go to a web browser, type youtube.com/LWTDB, which is the acronym for my channel. And then right here near the top, you're going to find this scheduled session that'll show your local time and date. If you click on this item, you can scroll down to get to the description area to find out a little bit more about the session and actually find links to Chuck's 3 previous videos. So I don't know what his request is during this session, and I just used a thumbnail that I've used previously for him because he was asking for a basic computer education 101. So it could be that we're going to go ahead and talk about one of these topics. So if you are involved with my live stream sessions, you're welcome to come along and participate in that and help Chuck along with whatever his request is today. So now let's get into time slips. Tech Tales is where I report on time slips of actual charges from my real world clients in order to give a fair representation of what an actual real world computer consultant might be called upon to do. One computer consultant to another probably has very different style of working and different types of clients. So my type of the time slips you hear from me could be different than somebody else's. But still, I think it gives a reasonable idea. So here's for the attorney office, Golf Mike, and this time slip is labeled for his assistant, who also happens to be Golf Mike, not related. And this time slip is for July 5th on a Monday, 37 minutes from 9:01 a.m. to 9:38 a.m. Changed spelling of first name in GoDaddy administrator panel. Looked for reported missing tasks from the prior assistant, finding they seem to be already present. Sent email requesting clarification. Created scans folder and adjusted copy machine buttons to send scans for the new assistant. So I've reported in prior time slips about the new assistant for this attorney. He had an assistant for, I don't know how long the prior long-term assistant was. It may have been a year or more. And then there was another assistant that came in that only lasted around a week. And then now we have the third assistant during the reasonable past. So I had set everything up based upon the spelling that they had given me about the new person coming in. It turns out I misspelled her name, so she gave me the correction for that. So that's what the first sentence of that time slip was. And then this new assistant had told me that there were missing tasks from Outlook that the prior assistant had in the system. Now I learned subsequent to this time slip that the last long-term assistant, where the missing tasks are, came back into the office to help train this new assistant. And I don't know if the previous long-term assistant had trained the 1 week temporary assistant or not. I guess that's beside the point. But anyway, when I connected remotely to her computer, I found that the tasks were there, and I suspect it's just that she didn't know what to click on to get to this other person's tasks, because I have the Outlook PST file for the prior person as a separate PST file in Outlook, so that everything didn't just automatically carry over into the new person's Outlook. But in the email that I sent to her, I told her that we can do that. I haven't heard back from her. So yeah, I kind of have this little twinge of saying, did she actually receive my email? Should I call and follow up? Maybe sort of, would have, kind of, should have. I haven't. Then created scans folder and adjusted copy machine. So while I was connected remotely to her computer, I use a browser, the IP address for the copy machine. I put it into the browser so that I can navigate to the browser's configuration software. I think on that one it's called Top Access. And I went to the configuration for the buttons that are on the copy machine to adjust it so that instead of sending scans to the prior person's network folder on the server, it's now going to send to the new person's folder on the server. Now, since in the occasion, I've reported previously that I got approval to use generic naming conventions. So now this folder on the server and the copy machine scan button for the assistant is labeled something to the effect of, I think it's the attorney's initial and assist or assistant. So that next time they have a new assistant hired on, I won't have to change that piece of the configuration. In the email that I sent to her, I asked for her to test that scanning operation. Then moving on to the next one, this is for the chiropractic office Charlie on Monday, July 5th, 51 minutes, 11 a.m. to 11:51 a.m. And this is for Tango Charlie. I spoke of her in a recent time slip, I'm certain, about Payroll Mate. So this is installed Payroll Mate 2010 through 2020. The 2016 source file was corrupted. Downloaded fresh copy from Payroll Mate and installed. Test launch all versions. So I did a test launch of every version. There was some kind of a warning screen or configuration screen at the launch of each one of them, and I knew if I just left that for her to launch, that would throw her and she would wind up calling me when she saw that screen. So I just want to make sure every one of them worked, and that didn't take an awful long time to do. But the interesting thing about this is I had reported in a previous Tech Tales that I had found all the downloaded installation files still in her download folder. So now I needed to get that 2016 version, and I had already gone to the company's website and found that I did not find where to download prior versions. So what I did is I checked my notes and found what email account is used to send her notification of the new version. So then I opened up that email account and I searched for the company's email address when they send these updates. And I found the email that had the link for downloading the 2016 version. Clicked on that, downloaded, easy peasy. Did I really say easy peasy? Then the next time slip, Tuesday, July 6, 1:08, an hour and 8 minutes for the law office, Bravo. And this is for Tango Kilo in the office, 8:23 a.m. to 9:31 a.m. She is the partner attorney in this two-attorney office. Phone and remote support to install ForTheRecord for playing recordings of court sessions. The DVD provided had an obsolete version of the software. Created account for Tango Kilo on the website ForTheRecord.com. Attempted to download correct version of the software for Windows 10. Unable due to account creation incomplete. Implemented web version of the player instead for immediate need. So my client called me. They had received a DVD for a case that they're working on. It's for playing the court recorded audio from a court that's out of state, not in our state. And it had an installation file on the DVD. My research wound up discovering that she actually did install it. And it launches. And you could select a recording to play, but it just would not play. No error message. What I eventually discovered is that the version of the software that was provided on the DVD was for Windows XP and simply didn't work. So I tried changing compatibility mode to various different versions of Windows XP or Windows. And I tried the compatibility checker or troubleshoot compatibility, whatever that's called. That did not solve the problem. I went to do a Google search looking for solutions. Eventually, I got to discover on the courts, or not the courts website, ForTheRecord, on their website, they had documentation that identified the different versions of the software. However, to download it, you had to set up an account. So I tried to create an account for my client and was unable to because it indicated that an account creation was in progress. So I think my client had begun creating that account and did not finish it. Well, I found there was an alternative that I could play it through a web browser. Now this was during, let's see, what was the time? Yeah, that was morning, 8:23 to 9:31. So she was a little desperate for this because she said she needed to review these court recordings today. So I found that I could play it through a web browser. So I queued it up on a web browser. I knew my client was not in the conference room computer that I was connected to. She was off in her internal office meeting with a client. So I wasn't able to even discuss it with her, and I knew she was feeling a little bit pressured under the gun. So I just loaded up the first recording that she needed to listen to so that when she walked over to the computer, it was just queued up. She could see a play button, hit that and go. Did not get a chance to explain to her about the web version versus the account creation at this time. So is that all I want to say on that one? Yeah, I think so. And I think that'll do it for this edition of Tech Tales. I hope you found that useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.